Oh ho, it's that time again. Time to wrench on the old Mercedes. So I bought the battery, of course. Then I bought about 4 feet of flexible fuel hose, right? Because I got to replace the injector return lines. And I bought a can of diesel fuel, and I bought... No, that's not it. Yeah, starting fluid. And I bought a couple of fuel filters. I bought a little fuel filter. Really prefer if it didn't do that. Anyways, a big fuel filter. It was like $15, not bad. And I bought glow plugs. All the lights, so you know they'll work. That's great. Uh-oh, stinky. Sold me the wrong goddamn glow plugs. Leave it to Beaver. Yeah, unfortunately, these run in parallel. And I need them to run in series. So now that I got all new injector return lines on here, I'm going to go through and make sure that everything is tight. All my injectors are tight. And then I'm going to disconnect my fuel inlet hose, which is this guy right here. I don't know if I can get it up on top of my hand, this one. I'm going to disconnect it right there, that clamp. I'm going to dump it into my tank of diesel. May have to get a longer chunk of line, but nonetheless, it will go into the can of diesel, and I'll use that as my fuel. Because there's biodiesel or some other shit in the tank, and it smells like turpentine, so you know that's good. Alright, so the next thing I'm doing is I'm going to take out all of the fuel injector lines out of the injection pump, off of the fuel injectors, and then I'm going to remove the glow plugs from the cylinder head, clean them up, see if I can't get new nuts for them. I got to wait on insulators, but yeah. Get everything loosened and take them off. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take off these two nuts that hold in, I don't know what you would call it here, throttle assembly, cruise control, etc. I'm going to take these off so that I can get these injector lines out a little bit easier. See if I can't disconnect this guy right here. I know these just pop off at some capacity. I've seen Mercedes Source do it. Awesome channel, check them out if you have a chance. Mercedes Source, all one word. Has some great videos. Alright, so it looks like all my injector lines are out. I'm not going to be taking the injectors out. I don't want to screw with that at the moment. Well, I mean, I guess I could bench test them. That could be cool. I'll suggest that to my teacher, but it's not really germane to what we're doing in my class right now. So I'm going to take the glow plugs out, go over to the bench grinder, and clean them up a little bit, and see if I can't get this thing to at least fire off. Alrighty, gang. So the only thing that we figured out was that one of these glow plugs has been, like, tampered with. Somebody, see if we can get it to focus on the plug. Somebody has ground this off. See the marks on it? They've cut it flush for some reason, which is, you know, really cool. So I'm going to have to go out and buy new plugs, regardless. I was hoping to get away with reusing these, but, yeah. Also, one of these, this one is royally screwed as well. See, it's bent and just turns on the shaft, and nothing's kosher with that. So it's time to go get new plugs. Ordered new insulators, but those are in Bozeman, and I'm in Butte currently, so probably won't hit this much until next week. Well, I pulled the main inlet fuel line off of the pre-filter. Little guy right there. Pull it off. Go buy a new one, as well as return the glow plugs. Alright, it's 3 o'clock. Here's where we're at. This pre-chamber. She not moving, so I took the head bolt out. Tomorrow we're going to get an air hammer on it, I think. And attempt to pop her loose, because the tool I made, I'll show you in a minute, it's not working. I was going to tack weld it, or tack weld the pre-chamber to the tool to try and get it to pop out. I mean, it's just left-handed threads. It should come out, or at least I think it's left-handed threads. That's what everything's been indicating, so I'll do a little more digging, but it's just really stuck in there. All the glow plugs are out. This fuel injector's out. We gotta pop the pre-chamber out because the glow plug is broken off right down in there. Probably can't see it. No. Oh dear. No, I'd need an external light source, but no, it's broken off down in there, so
Yeah, I may pop the valve cover off too, just to have easier access to that pre-chamber. Check the timing chain out. But I'll show you the tool I made. So it's an old socket that I welded to, and then I used the welds to thicken it up so these fit into the slots. But it's so stuck in there that even with two people, me pressing my entire body weight down on it, it cantilevers up out of there. You know, using the hand impact driver and impact gun and big old extension and hammer and chisel, nothing's worked so far, so I had to order a new nut anyways, so figured I'd get that out of the way. Got new glow plugs on order. I think this is where it's going to sit until Monday at least, if not later. I gotta drop the fuel tank anyways. What is up, my nizzles? So I got the slide hammer here because I'm trying to remove this pretty dank pre-chamber. Now you can't see it because this phone doesn't pick light up real well, but I got a 7/8 by 14 bit in there that we chamfered the end and cut some channels into and are using as a cutting bit because I don't have an M24 by 1. So we're just going to screw the threads on it. I'll make a note of that in the owner's manual, and I'll post it all over. If I decide to ever sell this car, I'll let the next owner know. So yeah, we're just going to slide hammer this pre-chamber out just like such. So you get a hand. Woo! There she blows. That is a pre-chamber. And there is the end of the glow plug. Little prick, where'd you go? You better come back here. Daddy's gonna get angry. Oh, there it is. It's way back there. Okay, bye. Now you know that your piece of 1970s technology is epic whenever you ever turn to lock, then you come over to the other side. I mean, me too, bud. Me too. Ever heard of a thing called the Ackerman principle? Oof. You can see the freaking coil spring. You can see everything in there. You don't even got to take the tires off to change brakes on this thing. This thing's, she's mint. Make note in owner's manual. The threads in number 2 pre-chamber are no longer M24 by 1. They are currently 7/8 by 14. They are a standard thread and have been cut to such. Please make a note of this in the owner's manual.